Hello everyone, GameGoddessFee here. Alright, and we're back with Ace Attorney. And we're gonna be playing the third installment of this game. And I have my boy.
Mominator!
Alright, so yeah, we're gonna, yes, like I said, play the third installment. Hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching and make sure you give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Alright, so we do have Ace Attorney. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Let's play this game. Let me turn down the music.
Turn it up. I'm just kidding.
Really? Episode 1, Turnabout Memories. So let's see what this is about. We get to play with Mia. They killed Mia off too fast, didn't they?
They killed you.
Yes. Hey, Game Queen 81. How you doing tonight? Yeah, we gonna see Mia in action tonight. I believe so. Are we? I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, let's go.
Nope. You're getting there. Ugh! How did I get into this situation? Why? Why did I do that? That girl. You shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business.
Is that Phoenix?
I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're fibbing! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! It wasn't me! I didn't!
That Phoenix?
I didn't do it!
Phoenix got himself in trouble, huh? Is that Phoenix? It looked like Phoenix. 5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. I know, look at Phoenix. April 11th. Hey? I'm going to say Fiona. April 11th, 9:40 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Woo, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning.
Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed.
Let go of my lappos. You obviously haven't gotten the temperament to be a lawyer.
I am sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I, Marvin Grossberg, am at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court.
Still, you surprised me. Well, with your earnest request last night. Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too.
Just found out yesterday about the case.
What? You've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that. You see, of course I have, I think.
Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client. Good morning there, everybody!
Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia.
I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got! Yup, it'll be fine. No problem.
Is he sick? Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright?
Actually, it's right. Like, the Flying Brothers. People who mess it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says.
COVID.
COVID, yes, it's COVID.
Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you.
Please, let go of my shirt.
That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But the trial traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. For my client and for myself. April 11th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. I think this is one of those beginner trials, you guys. So yeah, I think it's only one day. Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg would be leading the defense. Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Emergency? Well, isn't that him standing there right next to you? Yes, well, you're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It will all be over soon.
What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me?
Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway, they then caught the police.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. Crime photo 1 added to the court record. The crime took place behind an IVU building. By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. What is that word?
Just go ahead.
Your Honor. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death.
An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question.
Huh?
A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I am a gentleman, if you will.
A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of.
Oh, a perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause. Go on.
What was it? Doug's autopsy report Date and time of death, April 9th at 3 p.m. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock.
Look at that turn patch. Oh, look at this.
He had an umbrella. Gosh.
Let's look at Phoenix's profile.
I got him with his mask on. He's 21. My client, a third-year art student. Oh, he was studying art.
He's studying art.
At Ivy University. He currently has a code. And the victim, he was a fourth-year pharmacology student at Ivy University. Who is this? Phoenix Wright's girlfriend. Dated the victim, Doug Swallow, up until 8 months ago.
This person is gonna come back.
Her?
Yes.
The prosecutor for this trial, a veteran lawyer with a little too much confidence in where Mia at? My superior and the head of Grossberg Law Offices.
She don't get one. She don't get one.
Please say you know at least this much.
I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up.
Ew.
Now see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you?
Ah, the court record. I think I can see that by pressing the R button.
All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Yes, sir. I'll do just that. Sagacity means wisdom, Pluminator. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. I just pressed the R button here. We already did that. Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Hypothermia.
Electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps? That's, what's his face? From coma.
The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue.
What's that?
Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood? What do you mean?
Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this.
I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payton for you. He is one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know.
Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence?
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Graybeard's face.
Yes, sir. Into old Graybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg? Try to set a better example for the young lady.
Mia, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the R button, so be sure to go over it all.
Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
I don't know. I don't know what the R button is. It's the R button.
It was this little thing here, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Take that! what?
The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Faye. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
Ah, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's always got the judge thinking like he wants.
Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Faye? It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection. Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand. Good, there you go, sneezing and stuff.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect.
No, he means what did you do before you were arrested?
Oh. I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug, but I didn't do it! I'm innocent, I tell you.
I know that's right, Game Queen. I saw.
I'm telling you, I was...
Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his code to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor.
Witness testimony, the victim and I
admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe.
I see. So you hardly knew the victim?
Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer.
Ooh, it looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh?
It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady.
And that would be?
This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
He's right. And it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is fibbing, their statements will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court, all fibs must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a fib, a contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Faye. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been fibbing. You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
Why you always have his hair like that?
Spiky hair, huh? Cross-examination, the victim and I.
Want me to do these to keep your voice arrest?
Go ahead.
Alright. I admit I was there. But I'm not you, Skip one.
When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered?
Yeah, sort of. The place where something happened anyway.
That's him.
Something? You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence. Achoo! 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 Achoo!
And anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow.
It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident.
A coincidence, huh?
But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body.
You say you found the body, so who called the police?
Huh? Achoo. Unfortunately, it was some other students that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Achoo.
Could you stop sneezing every time you're in a bind?
Well, it's true that I was pretty shocked when I found the body. But I hardly knew the guy to begin with.
So, you didn't know his face or even his name, right?
Right. Well, no. That is, I mean...
So, which is it? Did you know him or not?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Now see here, you can't avoid answering the question by sneezing all day.
Well, I guess I did know his name.
News to me. Why didn't he tell me that before?
I heard he used to date Dolly.
Who is this Dolly person?
Ah, yes, that would be the defendant's lover, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, I see. Our young love. So bittersweet.
But that's all I knew about him. Mr. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe.
Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with.
That's right. I mean, why would I even...
But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe?
You.
Well, Mr. Wright?
No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer. I promise.
Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt.
Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean?
Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? It's true, cross my heart. I promise I didn't do it.
He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night. May I ask you something, Miss Faye? Yes, Your Honor. What is it now? Who is this person anyway, this Union Jack fellow?
The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right?
As usual, Your Honor, your insight astounds me.
Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now?
Mia, there's a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg?
Quickly now, show that boy you mean business. With evidence, I mean.
Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully.
Well, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point?
I can handle it myself.
I don't think you can.
I need some help.
No, you got it.
1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia.
I'll be fine. I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, and one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia, one more time from the very beginning of his testimony.
Check the court record.
You see, he was wearing that thing. Let me see. I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew that guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Let me see. Oop. Do you see anything on the back of his shirt?
Nope.
Are you certain you saw the Union Jack?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Faye, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely no... What? Hold on. As you can see, there is absolutely nothing on the victim's back.
Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing.
I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that really was the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You had no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been fibbing to me.
Please forgive me. Wah! Yeah, you've made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright was all wrong.
That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's fibs for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime.
Uh-oh, did I go too far?
By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it?
Yeah, I took some, but...
Was that medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How do you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere.
He lost it. Does this mean even have anything to do with the case?
Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene.
What's this? In the victim's hand. It's Cold Killer X. Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it.
What?
Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Really?
Phoenix done.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the record. Crime photo 2 added to the court record. The victim's watch stopped at the time of death. Cold Killer X added to the court record. Found clutched in the victim's hand, covered in Wright's fingerprints.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this?
This is really bad.
Oh my... My poor hemorrhoids.
Ugh. Witness testimony. What really happened?
The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3, we split up. And later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I'd been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
Achoo! I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Miss Faye, please begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more fibs. Cross-examination, what really happened?
The truth is, I went because he called me.
Had you ever met the victim before then?
No, never. But that day, he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Dolly person is?
It's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
What? What's that for, Mia?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden.
Dolly Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty little triangles I see.
He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building.
Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45?
Yeah, and we were both right on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU.
And in alchemist, I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for more details. About timing of the meeting, about
How y'all make medicine?
pharmacology department. Let me see. I don't know about the department. Yeah, about the meeting, I guess. So you are absolutely certain that you met at 2:45?
Yeah, pretty sure. That's the time class ends. But they're always doing experiments, so it doesn't matter much.
Experiments?
Yeah, those pharmacology guys are always in the lab whipping up something.
Well, it looks like he's right about that time anyway.
Witness, let's go on with your testimony. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock, we split up.
So what was it you were talking about?
You know. Maybe we should hang out again sometime.
Hang out again sometime? I wish that were true.
And later, when I went back, I found him lying there.
So you say you went back?
Yeah, that's when I found the body.
Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him?
Well, that's right, I was.
Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there?
I thought maybe we could make up. Achoo!
Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this.
I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days.
It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh?
I suppose common sense is not always coming. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine?
Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch?
Huh? What does that have to do with anything?
You can never be too sure.
I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious.
They're magically delicious.
What's that, Frosty Lucky Charms?
Ouch! Why did you punch me in the jaw?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden.
Well, Mia?
I don't know. I can't seem to find any contradictions.
The boy isn't exactly what I'd call a natural-born fibber, you know. But still, we can't have him continue to spout nonsense.
I know, but what can I do?
Well, I'm certain he must still be hiding something. Information! Right now, it's information we need more than anything else.
That's why I'm confused. Why are they trying to, why they have to question their own client? This should be the, prosecution questioning him. And she's supposed to be trying to clear him. Anyway. The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock, we split up. Then later, I went back. I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the incident.
The second statement, I think, because we could have got more stuff out of him.
You think the second statement?
Yeah. Also, this is a alternate costume in that Find Game be in.
This is what he wearing now.
Yeah.
No, I mean like press him again, because we had like options.
Oh, okay. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45?
Yeah, and we were both there right on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU.
An alchemist, I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. Look at my mouth flap. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more information. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department.
Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though.
A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said that the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity.
That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere.
High voltage? High voltage cables?
Yeah, there were electric poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof.
Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met approximately... right. So the defendant and the victim met approximately... I can't even say the word.
Oh my God.
Whatever, at the time of his death. Then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted.
But what do you mean?
What's up? What's up, y'all? What's that? Terminator?
Yes.
What's up, Yeety?
I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
However, there is one mystery that still remains.
There is, Your Honor.
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, that is, you're correct, Your Honor.
So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this smelling like a rose. Establish murder method? Your Honor. Yes, Miss Faye? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up to now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive.
Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence.
Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted.
I think he got electric powers like Electro, and like he tried to jump out of the way like Spider-Man, but he couldn't, and then he got electrocuted and he died. I don't know, I can't read the clock.
that's 3, like
That
3:05.
Okay, wait, no.
A little hand is pointed at
No,
the
like if we look at the watch like from like his wrist, the hour hand is like on 12.
The hour hand is on the 3.
What you mean? Like if I was wearing the watch. Oh wait, you're right. Wait, okay.
See, you can tell these kids they don't know how to.
If I was wearing the watch right here, like how his hand
watch ain't
is,
got nothing to do with it, ain't it?
in his hand, that would be like, all right, no, that'd be like 8.
That doesn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
that got nothing to do with it. Let's just go.
That umbrella. Was it raining that day?
I think because Phoenix got a.
Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? But there is nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon?
I was trying to say them cables, but you can say the umbrellas.
Well, naturally, it's right around here, I think. Miss Faye, I'm deeply disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed as well, Miss Faye.
To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed too, Mia.
That was wrong?
And shoot!
Oh, I need to use my brain on this. Come on, Mia, you can't strike out here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail.
The cable!
Miss Faye, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon? Right there? I don't know. Well, naturally, it's right here. That's what is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines that pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are high special There are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then the high voltage cable, yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order.
Don't toy with me, old man.
Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant.
Why would he be messing with them cables anyway?
It's you!
That much is certainly true.
Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
His fingerprints.
Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well.
Ah, you mean...
Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
Order. That's enough. I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with his cross-examination.
Stick a fork in us, we're done.
And Mr. Grossberg?
My hemorrhoids never fib. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent. No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Your Honor? At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. Mia, you better come on. Do you have something further to add, Miss Faye? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict.
But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be...
It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me.
Miss Faye.
No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end.
Oh, wait, we've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute.
Mr. Wright?
I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further. I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that dog swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's not your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're fibbing! So listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! That's what he said. This is a weak push, bro. What kind of check? Don't talk about your dad!
What did you just say? It? What you just said was that? I can't read.
Will you defend?
What you just said was that the truth?
Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are.
Please give me one more chance to explain. This time, I promise I'll tell the whole truth. I'll be okay. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
It feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
I'm tired of you and these hemorrhoids, dude. Really do. Witness testimony when I pushed the victim.
That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
A simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it.
That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. Cross-examination when I pushed the victim.
That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly.
So what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you?
He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl.
Is that all?
Yup.
Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is.
Anyway, after he said that, I lost my temper and gave him a shove.
Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail?
That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. He was weak and fell down from there.
When you did that, there was no severed cable. And when you did that, there were no severed cable anywhere to be seen?
Right. There was nothing like that at all. But it is possible that you merely overlooked it. Well, I guess it's possible.
What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt. I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness.
At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise.
A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright?
I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like snap. You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, It was the sound of the victim being electrocuted.
You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was.
How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been
Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us.
when I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard.
An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone.
Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well, of course it's important.
Yeah.
This is it, Mia, the new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important, it's vital. I want to officially have it enter into the testimony.
Ha! How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
The court agrees to the defense's request.
What is that?
Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella.
So Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella? And you are certain of this?
Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself.
The umbrella, you mean?
Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing a sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love.
Oof! My stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia.
Ah, I'm so sorry. Continue on with your testimony, witness.
A little while after I left, I started to get worried.
After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away?
Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious. You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition? Well, yeah. But like I said, I got worried about him later. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead.
Unless we can find something that shows his innocence from the testimony, my dear. I'm afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever.
Yes, sir. Right now I need more info. Info that will help me turn up some contradictions. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his umbrella. His cheap umbrella. How was his umbrella on the side right there? His umbrella right there.
Isn't that a contradiction? Isn't that a contradiction?
Contradiction.
Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning?
Come on. If I had mentioned that.
I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier.
What do you mean by that?
Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive.
No!
Order, order, order. The victim, he moved. Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this the umbrella in this photo, where is it now?
Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene.
I want it presented as evidence immediately. Umbrella added to the court record, owned by the victim, found broken near an electrical pole at the crime scene.
But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind.
According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind.
But
I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
No!
Yes, hey.
He's been messing with his head all day long. I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Phoenix's testimony added to the court record. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened.
Well done, Mia.
Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was stupid to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess, you have another witness?
Exactly. And this witness's testimony will be... What does that even say?
Incontrovertible.
Incontrovertible, whatever.
Well, who is this witness?
Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne. You don't mean Dolly?
I do, Your Honor. Defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place.
What?
I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear.
Mia done threw her hair. Bad news. You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this.
You can't be serious.
Mia, what do you mean by that?
I think it's a good point for us to stop. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
I guess it's a two-parter. I didn't expect that. Oh, no, it ain't.
April 11:52
Baby.
a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there.
It's all right. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright.
Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh?
Relax, my boy? You can't be serious. After hiding such important facts?
But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will.
Why do you think that?
Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life. That's why.
The love of your life, huh? Would you be telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne?
Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then She took it off, but before she gave it to me, she said, "I want you to carry this."
So she gave it to you as a present? I see.
This darling little ball is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is. Oh, wait, this is me.
It certainly is a little bottle, all right.
It makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world.
Dahlia's present, borrowed from Phoenix Wright. A small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating?
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it?
Huh? Yeah, it was. But how did you...
This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse.
Was this a newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse. Murder?
What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct?
Newspaper clipping added to the court record. An article from August 28th, almost 8 months ago. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself.
Ah, yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find.
What is that clipping? Thank you.
I want to do whatever I can to be of help for you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving.
I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though.
To be continued. So, Phoenix in trouble.
Yeah, Phoenix. Phoenix got himself in some hot water.
I think this is the first tutorial that's 2 cases.
I think the last one was 2. We did it all in one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the last one was a 2-pointer.
Well, we gonna keep going. I'm just kidding.
You want to keep going? Y'all want to keep going or save it? I'll leave it to the chat.
You save it.
Save it till tomorrow or whenever.
It was interesting.
Really? I'm not sure how long. They probably go another hour. I'm trying to be out for here by. Well, we on vacation.
Yeah, we on vacation. Wow.
Hey, y'all know I'm back on vacation. He's on vacation.
Yeah.
You want to go?
I can go.
You can go. We can go. We can go. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't have to get up in the morning.
Neither do I. I gotta turn off my alarm.
Me too. April 11, 12:13 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. But yeah, you know what? Well, that's later on in the day. Anyway, come on, let's go. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness.
This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand.
Why you got the umbrella? Go ahead and voice her.
Okay, I'm gonna voice a guy. I'm gonna voice. I can't do no. No.
What's with this stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that.
Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name?
Go ahead, promenade. voice. Whatever, go ahead.
I can't voice it.
Go ahead. Really? Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. It's like crazy.
If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down in size.
And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming me my nerves. You are all so nice. I almost feel right at home.
Not at all.
It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Thalia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine. Really? Now y'all so crazy about this girl. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir?
Is there something I can help you with?
Just go on and say whatever is on your mind. I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just knew it. Yes. I can see why you'd say that. She's going to be a tough witness, all right. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. Give me a break. Leave that young girl alone. Okay? Him and the judge are messing with her like, really? Witness testimony. What I witnessed. I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then, suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong.
Young lady, as old as I am, even I can recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth.
But I would never. That's more than enough witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin fibs. Tee-hee, you haven't changed a bit. Milfay.
What's this? So you two are acquainted?
Yes, we've met before, once. In any case, Miss Faye, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Faye. Madam, I'm no one grandma yet, girly. Cross-examination, what I witnessed. I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after the class was over. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what are you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Senryu poetry. Oh, how wonderful is that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. A midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area. Oh, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I went to enter the courthouse, I always walked through the front doors. How else would you enter? Teleportation? Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. So who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Duck Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow, and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined.
That's right, Miss Faye.
Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? Then suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? He was watching the whole time. Finny never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her on for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? So she just said that he didn't touch him, but they got that coat.
Yeah, court record.
What does this say? Murder in the courthouse. Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident is the district courthouse cafeteria. In the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim.
That's interesting.
I know, right? Was that her?
I'm pretty sure that will never come up again. Especially not in this case or the other cases.
Should I leave it alone or?
I think we got a contradiction somewhere. Wait, go in the court record again.
And I forgot what we looking for.
What Wright's testimony?
Huh?
Oh wait, I don't know either. Never mind.
We should I do about her testimony just now?
We can leave it alone.
I suppose her statement works in our favor for now. I hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary. Very well, young lady. Please go on with your testimony. That's when Feeny noticed that I was there. And what did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry, I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember? Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only minutes prior. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt by me. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going, as a group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow, they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on. Press for more details. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about these students.
So did the students call the police?
Yes, I was just so panicked. Yes, well, anyone have been, my dear. Anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious fib and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Right. Yes, that's got to be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find a contradiction on this one. I had been planning to go back to Feeney's place after class was over. Was that all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Feeney and Dookie were talking behind the building, and suddenly Dookie, I said Dookie.
Suddenly Dookie.
Dookie got all wobbly and just collapsed.
What's that statement where it gave us options again?
I forgot. Let me see.
I think it was the one before this. I actually got butterflies in here.
Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Finny never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Show contradiction? Fever fibers are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne. So let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never.
Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job.
Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor, I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. It did. Oh, let me go back. Did I go back? You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground.
And at that time, there were only the two of them at the scene? The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow?
Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting. I didn't hear anything unusual either. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely. Did you notice anything of the ordinary at all? Out of the ordinary at all? No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge. Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge.
No! No!
Now then, please proceed with your testimony. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? We already did this, did we?
Yeah.
Yes, they were all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on? But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. It doesn't look like I'm going to get any more information about the students.
So did the students call the police?
Yes, I was just so panicked. Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a yeah. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. That means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradictions on this one.
Yeah, Magatama had a little scarf thing. I just noticed.
Who?
You know that Magatama?
Ah, she do?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a tear.
You
About that,
know what? I think Phoenix had.
I forgot how it looked. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. Let me see. What's the contradiction? There was a loud sound when this happened.
I guess.
Oh.
Right here.
That's the contradiction.
You say you didn't hear anything unusual? Is that correct? Yes. That's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me.
Oh, she got a flex.
Where is it at?
Ah, there it is. You see it? It's
Where?
got her little scarf thingy right there.
That's the tear.
Yeah.
We already said she had a tear on her scarf.
No, we didn't. Oh, wait, did we?
Even when I first seen her.
Oh, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. That's what you said.
Mhm.
Whatever.
That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well?
Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable.
But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression.
Yuck!
May I have a moment to answer? But by all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now, she said something that could totally change this whole case. That was lightning.
There were lightning.
That was lightning.
Ciao.
Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere. Am I right? No, now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Oh, I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway?
None.
This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered,
Premise.
but that very but that very premise itself is
You said it twice.
what's the
It's
premise?
premise.
Yeah, whatever.
Premise.
The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of a stray bolt. It appears the defense may be on to something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? All right, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking what she say?
Not guilty.
I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye.
Huh?
I'm not an idiot, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location.
What?
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence?
This affidavit.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying the equipment lost power because?
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits with the time of death listed on the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cable was very old.
The cables were very up.
They were planning on having them replaced in their the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Student's testimony added to the court record. The old power cable broke due to some sort of impact on April 9th at 2:55 p.m. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable couldn't have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? What was it?
My attorney's badge. My attorney's badge!
Was it the umbrella?
Maybe. Yes.
It would say that Phoenix did it.
My client pushed the victim and broke the umbrella on the electrical cable and killed the victim.
So he did it.
No.
Yes. No. Yes.
Probably the umbrella. Let me see. This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honor?
I believe that the only thing that has snapped is the mind of the defense.
Ah, that was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor.
Ouch, that was harsh. Please, Your Honor, give me one more chance. Oh, Lord. Well, then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
You only get one more chance. If you mess this up, the trial ends.
That's how it was that last shot.
Him? I think it was the students. What you think? Let me see. An article. Let me see.
That ain't got nothing to do with today.
What caused it?
I don't know, I forgot.
Was it her?
Let's try it.
Really?
Yeah.
Try her.
Mm.
It is. This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Well, Your Honor?
Yeah, no, that wasn't it.
Was it? Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? I'm just gonna say him.
Well, then go ahead.
Hmm?
See him.
This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
Stupid, dumb, stupid, dumb, stupid.
That's what he says.
Oh my goodness. What was it?
I think, okay, what's they mentioned there was a thunderstorm?
Well, he
Wait.
just said that it wasn't a thunderstorm.
Go back. Go to the photo.
Photo of what?
Present this.
This is it. This is why the cable snapped.
It's over. Well, y'all, we gonna end it here. And just kidding.
Why did the cable snap, Mia?
I don't know why the cable snapped.
They saying they in time of death is 49 at 3, and the student said it was.
Present this. I don't care. You just keep going. Just keep going.
This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Will, Your Honor?
Okay. There is no penalty, so maybe we just present everything. Yeah.
I know, right? I would have been gone. Okay, what caused it? I don't see nothing in this evidence.
Me neither.
Some sort of impact on April 9th at 2:55. Wait, was it Phoenix?
Phoenix's testimony? Did we already try that?
Who?
Phoenix's testimony. Yup.
Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony. He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 o'clock p.m., correct? Yes, that's right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which was right in Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage.
Ooh. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Slug to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into the pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here.
No!
In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order in the court. The lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. It's true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way to defend it. Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The madam attorney explanation, she says some things that are a little different than I remember them. What? Please, just once more. Please testify one last time, Mr. Judge. Of course, it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. Witness testimony without witness part 2. The truth is, Finny pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then, Ducky tried his best to run away from him. But Finny caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Ducky being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away?
And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time.
I'm so sorry, Feeny, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Mia about to get her. Cross-examination without witness part 2. The truth is, Finny pushed him twice. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony, you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Turkey. I know, I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Finny. So that's why you basically swept to the court. I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge? Yes? Would you please forgive a little old me? Of course he won't. What you did? Oh, come now. It was just a little old white fib. You'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, all right? Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge. Not at all. The judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl. The first time I was into the electrical pole, that's when the cable broke. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole? You know he doesn't look it, but Finny can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be. Of an imp?
Imp!
Oh, really? But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Freddy really is scary when he gets mad. Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed. And Dougie tried his best to run away from him. So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold? What?
Miss Faye, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness.
I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on. Cheer them on? What do you mean by that? Well, I wish the best for them both, and that they would each give the fight their all.
Come on, beat him up, beat him up.
Really? That's very sweet of you to be so supportive.
And what happened after that?
The Feeny caught up and crashed into him from behind. That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found on the back of his leather jacket?
Well, no, there weren't.
Little Faye, may I suggest that you listen a little more carefully? I said that he crashed into him right from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? Ugh. The cable snapper and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away.
That's understandable.
Yes, indeed, it would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold. If I don't figure out the contradiction here, it's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her fib, so this is my best chance. There must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. The truth is, we need to push them twice. Let me see. So it stopped at 305.
Okay, that's a Roman numeral right there. I'm gonna settle this debate. That says like 10. That's 12 o'clock right there. That's 12 o'clock.
We'll talk off stream. We will talk off stream, okay? Broken mirror. Let me go through the statements. First time was onto the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. The Feeny caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. I think it's the watch.
You think it's the watch?
Cause they said it, and cause that watch clearly says 3:05. This is 12 at the X11. That's 12, and the small hand is the hour hand is on 3, and it looks like around like 3:05.
I don't know.
Like 3:02, 3:05.
You think Capcom expected its players to know how to tell a clock? Ooh!
That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine, that's the one Finny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. What I tell you.
Boo!
Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping?
Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Yeah!
Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? What exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order in the court.
This is nonsense! The real murderer?
Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for.
Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it?
There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow, only after my client had left the scene. Was there a window of opportunity for the real killer? Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer?
Tomodachi.
It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is the real killer?
Alright, go to the profiles. I think I know who it is.
Let me read this article again.
I think it was Grossberg.
At the time, since the victim yesterday assisted in the district court had said to be a lawyer. She not killed before.
I wonder who that lawyer was.
Who was that lawyer? It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne.
The defense is grasping at straws!
10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order, Miss Faye. What? I mean, why? That is you, Miss Hawthorne. I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your own hands. When the butterflies come back. Can you say something to me, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything. Miss Faye, this is very curious.
Your Honor! But please, I have something I want to say! It's you!
You? What is it?
Please strike everything the defense said just now from the record!
What? Are you draft? Are you what? Are you daft?
You're totally wrong, Miss Faye! Dolly, she couldn't do something like that!
Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man.
Ah! It's you! Leave my Dolly alone! It's you!
That boy.
This is honest him. He's gotten himself in way over his head.
Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back?
It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping.
Police record added to the court record. A report on the incident 8 months ago. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
You'd better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend.
Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? What's in that court record?
I wonder who that lawyer was.
Okay, sir.
Diego Armando.
I don't know who that is. District Courthouse.
I
Cafeteria.
know.
August 27, 4 p.m. Victim Diego Armando, age 28, occupation lawyer, suspect Dahlia Hawthorne. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the coffee cup. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, really, Your Honor, I.
May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor?
Don't you worry, my dear. I have this situation well in hand. Go right ahead.
Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright.
I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead.
How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. Notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear.
I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be.
The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, the same day the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What could that possibly have to do with this case?
The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well, then the court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a little bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. Witness testimony, how I met Feeny. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. You're so lovey.
We're so lovey-wovey. We literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think.
Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama.
As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her.
Cross-examination, how I met my Feeny. We first met my darling Finny 8 months ago. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes. I'm real stupid, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself. Oh no, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Maybe you should look for a different line of work.
Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge and I.
It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement reading room. The courthouse's reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Finny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room?
This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case.
Miss Faye, I'm warning you, if this is nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case. I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I'd better tread carefully. Keep pressing. Your Honor, if you allow me to some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well, young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. You were writing a paper? On what? On the relationship between Modest Senru, poetry, and the criminal underworld. Ho ho ho, that sounds like fascinating research idea. Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again, with the midlife crisis stuff.
Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully.
Oops, my bad. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he just looks like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Finny is handsome. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen.
It's messed up.
Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked.
He's telling the truth. I was truly shocking. It was true. Beautiful mushrooms growing tall in the darkness. It comes from cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Finny. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. Were there any bad feelings between you and Mr. Swallow? No, none at all. We parted on very good terms. But that can't be.
Our investigation also shows that it was a clean breakup.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yes, it seems that they both wanted it that way.
So the victim wanted to break up with her?
What?
So you're saying that Mr. Swallow also wanted to break up with you? Well, you see...
What a cool thing to ask a lovely young lady like this. By the way, I have never once considered leaving my wife.
No one cares, Mr. Payne. She didn't deny it. That must mean the Swallow must have been seen through her little act. We must have got a glimpse of her true nature.
Listen to me, Mia. That woman has the judge in the palm of her hand, you see. So the only way to discredit her is to find a contradiction in her testimony.
I first met my darling Phoenix 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement reading room. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. Let me see. Okay, where is the contradiction? It's like we were destined to meet in this very courtrooms.
Alright, read the report again.
Amanda ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. The poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. No poison. It's unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup.
I don't think this is it, but it says they was in the cafeteria.
Let me see.
Newspaper clipping. Yeah, it says the cafeteria twice. She was never in the reading room.
I guess.
Wrong one.
Oh. Well, I lost some points there.
You lost the point!
Why was that not the right one? I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day.
What? Is there a contradiction right here?
There was back then an article from I'm sure we have presented this.
That's what I wanted you to do, but
Said the police report.
you think that's it? I could be wrong.
I don't see no nothing that will tie to what her statement says. Except the courthouse. Where she meet Phoenix at? Where it say she met him at?
In the courthouse's basement reading room.
It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement reading room. Nope.
Alright, let's look it over again. Let's look all over the stuff.
It looks like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. Let me see. That's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
He was interviewing her for another case.
Yep.
Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason?
What's the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye?
8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy.
Another tragedy?
Do you mean an incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect in the incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne.
What?
Dahlia Hawthorne. Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. It's true then, the loveliest rose.
Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it.
Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking.
Pardon me. Go right ahead.
It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the official.
Well done, Mia. Ooh, you've really lit a fire in my heart and my... You know what? I can hardly tell which is more aflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. You love its hemorrhoids.
Witness testimony, the poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and then that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal in just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. This man is gross. Yes, that's why his name is Grossberg. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. And she in pharmacology? What she in?
Ooh.
So that's what happened here 8 months ago?
However, as you've heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination.
What? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger?
Aha, Mia, you're glowing with the true lawyer's aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing.
Cross-examination of poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. What were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential. According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case. The lawyer that was killed, he said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you just tell us all what that incident was?
That has absolutely nothing at all to do with this case.
Objection sustained. The defense question is stricken from the record. You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign.
Don't worry, Dolly. I'll protect you.
You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady. Oh, Feeny, please. Ugh, those two really are making me ill. Albeit for decidedly different reasons. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. How long were you gone? I've already answered all those questions for the police. But if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes? And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet?
What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? My perfect little Dolly doesn't poop.
You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better look next time. Oh, Feeny, please.
The police have already looked into this whole matter. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time.
Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with your testimony. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons? Well, let me see. My bottle of eye drops say it's a half a fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. So it's about 2/3 of that amount, huh? The poison was found in a lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. A special kind of poison? How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect. It's almost impossible to detect. Oh, where would something like that come from? I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. He said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it. Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive. The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show you how you could have gotten the poison? You think that's a good enough reason, Madam Faye?
She's right. And I think we've all had enough of Miss Faye's questions.
So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison.
Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great, now just how did a lit student get a hold of poison of all things? I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. Let me check the court record.
Because she got that poison though.
Let me see. Him?
Kind of like Matt Unger. You can't look like Matt Unger.
I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very kind of poison. You see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. Should I present him?
Yes.
You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University.
Pharmacology?
His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at this very table, you.
Look at that, listen to the new corner theme, y'all. And it's just
Order, order, order. Could it be?
that's nothing but a baseless act.
May I say something, Madam Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident that took place.
Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down.
But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere. They didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? She's right. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? She got me good with that. Provide some evidence or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye.
Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead.
The police conducted a full body search of Dahlia in the entire courthouse, and yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? That necklace? A small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone.
Hey, look at this thing. It definitely doesn't have point. I mean, huh?
You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course.
So the defendant was the witness accomplice?
Of course not. She gave the poison to him disguised as a present. What? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago, August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. Order, order. It's the court. Order, order in the court.
Objection.
On behalf of Dolly, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this.
Mr. Wright, I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her?
Why? Because I'm madly in love with her.
Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to take you anyway?
That's messed up, me. Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me, too.
Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone the real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is...
She's madly in love with you, Phoenix.
She's madly in love with you because of that necklace, or to keep you quiet? To keep him quiet?
I think it's because the necklace.
The necklace?
Yes.
Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck.
My necklace?
Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself.
Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that.
For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back.
You're fibbing!
But you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she...
I don't believe you. No! That's a fib! Ah!
Yeah, are you alright? Oh, the defendant is Taylor. Hurry, after him.
Mia, are you alright?
Yes, I think so.
That boy, he went completely insane.
Where's Mr. Wright?
It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough.
Thank goodness. Oh no.
What is it?
The bottle necklace, Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone.
What? That's terrible.
Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me.
Stupid boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in the blazes are we supposed to do now?
Phoenix crazy. Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court.
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid that your apology is not enough.
Mr. Wright, what did you do with that bottle necklace?
Forgive me. I'm sorry.
It's okay, just give back the necklace.
I ate it.
You what? You ate it?
It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first, but yeah. Ugh. Ah! What?
What is he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt?
No, wait.
The bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it.
It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly, that bottle did not contain a deadly poison.
How can you be so sure?
I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination.
So it would seem No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the person must have lost its poison. Poison.
Potency.
See.
There. It's alright, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you've placed this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong.
That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Faye, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything. Ugh. Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything? Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial. Mr. Wright?
I'm sorry, Miss Faye. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down.
Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say?
There's something I forgot to tell you.
What is it?
That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. Deja vu. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're fibbing. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Don't push me. Don't do that. Wait, what?
Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab.
Ooh.
Just because it's
Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. The drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl's a thief. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Stole some poison.
Is it true? Did he really say that?
That's ridiculous! There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got word and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him.
What?
She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but... I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, this is... The defendant is... Miss Ray, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent.
What happened to his coffin? So Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before. Naturally, her motive was stealing it was to kill someone.
Miss Faye.
If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore, exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? That man, that lawyer. I mean, that, is he up here?
Oh, I got it. I remember now. Don't choose him.
Nah, it's that other,
No, they come about on the day she stole the poison.
yeah, that, man. The
No,
man.
that was 8 months ago.
Oh, hold on. She was
We
trying to
talking
kill
about
somebody.
this case.
She was trying to kill Phoenix. gonna kill Phoenix. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way, and that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Me? That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered.
Well, it's true that's how things worked out, but let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright, this must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice. I mean it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace. That's all she cared about. But even so, why would she go so far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of the attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could only think of one thing: how to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible.
No, it can't be.
It was a pretty good move she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little body was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence.
That can't be true!
I thought you were smarter than that. Feeny, what a joke you are.
You gotta make it sound mean now.
Honestly, can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne, it appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I could tell you my plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. Well, see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottom of his snack. Well, hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now, if you don't mind. But we're not finished. Fine, then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away this time.
Stop, Mia! If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer.
The ultimate price? You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Faye, or should I say, Miss Gray? Well, Miss Faye, could you provide evidence that will establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point, I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof.
Impossible! You can't possibly.
Stupid woman. It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. Just one? If you are unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. Uh-oh.
That was better than limited penalty.
I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Well then, Miss Faye, please present your evidence.
That's not the full board. You told a story, Judge.
This is not too right.
Show to this court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Think it was the medicine? Ooh. You think it was the medicine? Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X, Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine?
Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold?
If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony?
But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us.
She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some.
Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Sloan, that was holding the medicine.
I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? Huh? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. This is a long case. Yes, it is. Since after shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. I thought it was going to be short. That is when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poison bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. Huh? I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, what'd she say?
I can't let next one live.
She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of that power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poison cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago?
8 months ago?
Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it, in this case, Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, aren't you? This stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking fibber. Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation.
I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate the necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking fibber, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Oh, Mia Fey. Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey?
You got that fun karma stare?
That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being. Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay? Huh? Or why, yes. I'm going to go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Oof. It's finally all over.
I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim.
But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it.
I don't care. I'm Winston Payne. And I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said.
Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Would you care to try this cold medicine?
What?
Just a little earlier, I could have bet you said.
There. It's all right, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life.
So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right?
Well, you see, yes.
And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life?
My hair's flying off! My beautiful hair! No!
His hair was sliding off like that. Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yes, Your Honor. I was following the papers for her immediate arrest.
Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Whatever. Don't feel, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fay. Yes, Your Honor? Was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other? Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case.
Not sure.
I'm not Summonator. Very well. Mr. Payne?
This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter.
It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say?
It can't be true. My dear Dolly.
Very well then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright,
Not
guilty.
guilty.
All right, Phoenix, you better thank Mia. This court is adjourned. April 11, 3:16 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Mia, you are wonderful in there.
Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg.
During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesus.
I'm tired of him. Mr. Grossberg, do you maybe think you could stop talking about them?
That's rather rude.
Thank you, Mia.
Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with a client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this.
Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations.
Thanks. You know, I was thinking.
Go on.
The dolly I saw up there on the witness stand, I don't think that was really her.
What?
Yeah, the dolly I know could never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something.
You act like, what's his face, Larry.
Yeah.
You crazy women. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best.
Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little.
But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up.
Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep?
Very.
Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself.
That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department.
Yeah, I am. But there's a friend of mine I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should be able to still save him in time.
I see.
Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right?
Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll study. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. But Mia's passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind.
Phoenix, no matter what, I've always believed in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief.
5 long years. Something has happened that's made me think back to the words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day.
Episode 1, Turnabout Memories, the end.
That was long.
Yes.
We should have saved that chunk.
I know, it was almost 3 hours. Well, the first case was just an hour. That second case was 2 hours. Almost 2 hours.
Well, it's done.
Good Jesus.
What's the next case? I want to see. Alright, that's that one. Okay.
Nah, he could see her too. The Stolen Turnabout.
Persona 5.
Again.
What is the Stolen Turnabout? Is that the other, let me see. Can I see the thumbnail? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Anyway. I thought I could see the, the cover art on it.
No, you can go back and see it.
Let me see. Oop. Can I, let me see.
That ain't the one where, you know who is on the cover.
We finna go for another hour, y'all.
No.
That's good.
Oh, that's him.
Okay, this is the one we go. The stolen turnabout. So this is the second. This is the second episode. So yeah, I hope you all come back and see this episode with us. Anyway, it went on too long. My voice is gone. So
Your voice gone.
yeah, if you're watching and you're liking what you see, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe. Also, give me a like if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Hurricane Queen 81. I got tired of that man talking about his hemorrhoids. Like,
Hemorrhoids? My hemorrhoids?
Really
They're
do.
flaring up.
Ugh, ugh. And right, you had Yeety in the chat as well. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And everyone else that's watching, have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll talk to you all later. Take care.